In the headlines, court orders OK's probe of Transportation Minister. Abaribe resigns as Senate Minority Leader, dumps PDP. To mark Children's Day, federal government establishes family court in 16 states. And on the foreign scene, Iraq's parliament passes a law that makes it a crime to normalize ties with Israel. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Hello and welcome once again. The Supreme Court has dismissed the appeal filed by Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi seeking to stop his probe over an alleged 96 billion naira fraud. In a lead judgment prepared by Justice Emmanuel Augi but read by Justice Adamu Jairo, the Apex Court dismissed the appeal of Mr. Amechi on grounds that the issue of not being given fair hearing does not arise as no one is on trial. The move by the River State is a panel of inquiry into the alleged fraud. The minority leader of the Senate, Ainaya Abaribe, has resigned from the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Senator Abaribe made his decision known in a letter to the ward chairman of the PDP in his ward, Ward 5, Obingwa Local Government Area of Abia State. In the letter dated May 24, 2022, the senator wrote, "This development is consequent upon the shameful display of illegality, impunity and undemocratic decision of the party and after due consultations with my constituents." He said he will make his new political direction known in due course. In a separate letter, Senator Abaribe notified the Senate President Ahmad Lawan of his resignation from the PDP. And a federal high court sitting in Abuja on Friday refused to order the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to release the detained former governor of Imo State, Rochas Okorocha, on bail. The court, in a ruling delivered by Justice Inyang Eko, rejected an ex parte application the former governor brought to secure bail from EFCC custody. Justice Eko ordered Okorocha to put the federal government on notice to come and defend his detention. It will be recalled that operatives of the anti-graft agency arrested Okorocha at his Abuja residence last Tuesday. The arrest followed an alleged refusal by the former governor to make himself available for trial in a 17-count money laundering charge that is pending against him before the court. EFCC accused him of deliberately evading service of the charge on him. Meanwhile, Senate President Ahmad Lawan said the race for the presidency should be a contest of ideas and not where one comes from. Lawan said he has offered himself for the job because he possesses the essentials that will make him an effective and efficient president. The report.
The Senate President Ahmed Lawan made remarks in Abuja while addressing the All Progressives Congress, APC leaders, and particularly the delegates from the Federal Capital Territory.
I present my credentials that I have, with all humility, the requisite training, the requisite experience, and the network and links across the country to make Nigeria greater. So let this contest be a contest of ideas, not contest of where someone is coming from. I respect all the distinguished aspirants, and I believe that any of us can have, whoever has the opportunity can serve well. But I think I can serve better.
Earlier, the FCT APC chairman Abdul Malik Usman spoke passionately about how Abuja indigents had not been benefiting from either ambassadorial or ministerial roles. He said it was time for indigents to be given opportunity to serve in government at such levels.
No state status for the Federal Capital Territory, no ministerial appointment for the Federal Capital Territory, no other meaningful appointment in the parastatal agencies in the Federal Capital Territory. Mr. Senate President is here today, he will use his hammer today to make I has it for all these things to happen to the people of Africa.
Meanwhile, Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak has emerged as the Kwara State governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress. He is the only aspirant in the race. 965 delegates were accredited for the Kwara State APC governorship primary election.
So we have a total number of 965 accredited voters. The National Secretariat also informed us that the only candidate that has submitted expression of interest as well as nomination form for the position of governor of Kwara State in the 2023 election is Abdurrahman Abdulrazak.
My profound gratitude goes to all of you distinguished delegates and to the people of Kwara State for this honor. I also thank all the leaders, party stalwarts, leaders across Kwara State. I do not take your support for granted. Between 2019 and now, the trajectory of Kwara has changed. We have registered a bold presence in the Committee of Decent and Respected States. We have positive strides and indices in education, health, access to water, improved youth engagement, gender mainstreaming, support for our farmers and the vulnerable.
And still talking politics, crisis is brewing in the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, in Nasarawa State, following alleged doctoring of delegates' lists in some of the local government areas of the state by APC National Secretariat. The state chairman of the party, Dr. John Mamman, who accused the national body of the party, led by Abdullahi Adamu, of doctoring the delegates' list, described APC's leadership action as undemocratic, which is capable of breeding disaffection, tension and disunity in the party.
For the conduct of the party primary across the country in preparation for the forthcoming 2023 general election. For us in Nasarawa State, we are not surprised with the effective way and manner the National Secretariat has been going about steering the affairs of the party to participate in the impending elections. As a matter of fact, we expect no less from the National Secretariat because the man at the helm of affairs is no other person than distinguished Senator Abdullahi Adamu Turakin Kefi, a notable statesman of a very high pedigree. It is common knowledge that the emergence of Senator Abdullahi Adamu, CON Turakin Kefi, as the national chairman was greeted with popular acclamation, most especially by teaming members of the party across Nigeria, as well as other patriotic Nigerians who are desirous of enduring democracy for our dear country. We are proud of our national chairman.
And Kano State Deputy Governor Nasir Gawuna emerged as the All Progressives Congress governorship candidate for Kano State. Gawuna defeated his opponent, Shaban Ibrahim Sharada, to emerge winner of the primary election, which held in the late hours of Thursday at the Sani Abacha Sports Complex. Chairman of the Kaduna APC governorship primary election, Anachuna Izu, announced the Senator Sani winner of the election. However, his major challenger defeated two other aspirants, Bashir Abubakar, who scored 37 votes, and Sani Shaban, who got 10 votes in the contest. While in Bauchi, Al-Amin Mohammed, gubernatorial aspirant of the All Progressives Congress, withdrew from the race few hours to the commencement of the primary elections. Tonye Cole emerged winner of the APC governorship primary in River State. Cole garnered 986 votes to defeat 5 contestants, including Senator Magnus Abbey. Member representing Chanchaga constituency in the House of Representatives, Umar Bago, has emerged candidate of the All Progressives Congress governorship ticket in Niger State. Bago scored 540 votes to beat his rivals, publisher of Blueprint newspaper Idris Malagi and former Minister of Sports Sani Ndanusa. The State Deputy Governor Ahmed Ketso, however, scored only 17 votes in the election. Bago promised to work hard to ensure that the APC wins the election in 2023.
Malagi scored 386 votes. Mohammed Umar Bago scored 540 votes. Honorable Mohammed Umar Bago, having scored the highest number of votes at the 2022 APC governorship primary election held in the United States, I, Barrister Nasir Ibrahim, the chairman of the Electoral Committee, hereby declare Honorable Mohammed Bago as the winner of the primary election and then elected.
Organizations of different aspects to share their swords. It is an intra-party politics. We have to make our party stronger and also victorious.
And still talking politics, ahead of the People's Democratic Party PDP primary election, the police have beefed up security in the Federal Capital Territory. The event is slated to hold on May 28th and 29th at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja. In a statement, the Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Josephine Ade, says consequent upon the above and in a bid to ensure a hitch-free event, the FCT Police Command has designed a robust security arrangement defined by a generous deployment within and without the election ground and to every nook and cranny of the territory. And the emergence of governorship candidates in the just concluded party primaries of the People's Democratic Party is raising eyebrows. Kende Amadou takes a look at the issues thrown up by the conduct of the primaries and how it will impact on the political space.
Kano is one of the states steeped in politics where surprises spring up every political season. The ruling All Progressives Congress has its issues with many members of a faction of the party moving into the newly rejigged New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP. Across the river, the People's Democratic Party has issues. Two factions of the party produced two candidates, Muhammad Abacha and Sadiq Wali, son of elder statesman Aminu Wali. In Kaduna, former member of the House of Representatives and candidate of the PDP in the 2019 general elections, Isa Ashiru won the ticket of the PDP. A former executive director of the First Bank, Northern Zone, Dauda Lawal, emerged the candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Zamfara State. Three other aspirants had withdrawn for the exercise few minutes into the process, citing irregularities and substitution of national delegates. In Gombe State, 328 delegates from 114 wards, 11 local government areas and 11 national delegates voted in primaries, which saw Muhammad Barde emerge as the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party. There is no surprise that in Adamawa State, incumbent Ahmadu Fintiri was returned unopposed as candidate, while his counterpart in Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, soundly trounced his opponent in the primaries. These results from the People's Democratic Party primaries show an opposition party that has shown up for work. But will that be enough to wrest power from the All Progressives Congress?
The fact that money and paramount power of incumbents still play so much role in the determination of whomsoever emerges at our primaries and at various levels of elections demonstrated the fact that we are not growing our electoral democracy, and this is seriously negating our developmental democracy.
A school of thought believes as a fallout of the primaries, there are quite a number of contestants that will move to other parties.
We may likely have a kind of a result where many people that are de-enfranchised or consider themselves to have been so done to, we move out of the party. That cannot be unexpected. You have seen that even Peter Obi, without getting to the real primary, have pulled out from PDP and things of that nature. So
now, while that may not be new in the Nigerian political system, the slowly growing influence of alternate political platforms may spring up surprise in 2023. By the 4th of June, a clear picture of the character of the new leadership in 2023 at all tiers of government will slowly start to emerge. Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching Trust TV News Update. Still to come after the break. Educationists provide alternate disciplinary measure. This and more after the break. Do stay with us.
Daily, we bring you updates around politics.
People like you who are very young, you have no future. Anybody now who is 30 years, if what is happening to them continues, by the time you are 60, you will have no country.
The DPO of a particular unit does not have to wait until the commissioner tells him what to do within his jurisdiction.
We have political parties on the ground. Some of them have been there for years. But they themselves, in their own sober moments, they know that this country is not the one they're expecting to run.
Policy and governance.
Are you saying the NBS is lying?
I'm saying to you very clearly that the NBS has a serious problem with accurate data till today.
The 5th Assembly, as well as the 7th Assembly, their own attempt were unproductive.
Emergence of the Taliban has simply emboldened terror groups globally.
There is a lot of attention with regards to security developments in Nigeria.
On Daily Politics, we interrogate issues, holding the actors to account, bearing in mind all the sides.
We heard that in some places now, people have to go and pay tax, not to the local government, not to the state, but to criminals.
Nobody can come to your house and kidnap you without information.
If this country is bleeding, it is bleeding because we have failed to educate our young.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now look at our top stories. Supreme Court okays probe of Transportation Minister Rotimi Amechi. And Abaribe resigns as Senate Minority Leader dumps the PDP. And moving on to other news now, the Nigerian Navy ship NNS Kada has arrived Lagos after her maiden voyage and last port call at Port Gentil in Gabon. The landing ship tank was constructed at Al Buaidi Diamond Shipyard, Sharjah, United Arab Emirates. NNS Kada made port calls in Oman, Kenya, South Africa, Angola, Port Gentil, Gabon, and is now in Lagos. The Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Zubair Gambo, received the ship making 8,424 nautical mile voyages at the NNS Jetty, Apapa, Lagos. Corporal punishment remains a widely used disciplinary technique in most African families and schools to shape children and make them grow into responsible citizens. Now, despite this generally being accepted that corporal punishment helps in child development, it has been a subject of controversy among psychologists that a thin line separates correctional corporate punishment from abuse. In this report, Zainab Bala speaks to educationists on better ways of correcting children.
but she has not gone to the school. That will is indicating something that you will do.
The family and the school are the first and most important agents of socialization, where a child learns to explore and imbibe social norms. In this process of learning, a child could exhibit certain behaviors that parents and teachers feel inclined to correct, especially when those actions are judged to be against acceptable patterns of human behavior. But the method or technique to fix the problem has been the subject of debate among educators and child rights advocates. Corporal punishment, which involves parents, teachers, or supervising adults subjecting children to pain through flogging or by any other means, has been frowned at in many fora, leaving many wondering what is the most acceptable way of correcting a child.
Today's education policy has been abolished. Corporal punishment is a disciplinary action taken against a learner or a child due to misconduct. Some of this misconduct can be as a result of not going by the rules and regulations of the school. And infringing this corporal punishment, the Child Rights Act has abolished it completely in our schools, most especially at the basic school.
For separating a child from his mate in a class, if a child does something, you say, Abdullah, come here, stay here. Well, you continue your lesson. Abdullah will feel being separated from his mate. It's a way of punishing a child. Then another one, you call a child and give him an assignment in a class different from the one the class are carrying on. It's another way to punish a child.
You can ask that child to write, I'm sorry. Or you ask the child to write, I'm sorry, I will not do it again. I'm sorry, I will not do it again. Up to 50 times. This will make that child to change.
This is the public primary school in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. They have devised a better way of dealing with unacceptable behaviors. Every week, they hold a mentorship session, pairing a teacher to a group of students to create an enabling environment for the students to have a rapport with their mentors.
My little boy said, from what Promi said, that late is a bad habit. This mentorship is very good. Why it is good is that he enlightens children on what is good and what is not good. Mostly the effects on them in the school and the society. It made them to know what to do at the right time and what not to do even when they mingle with their people.
My uncle is not the best to get punishment. I love my uncle. My uncle loves me. She told me, say, this thing is not good and this thing good. So then they do it again.
I love my uncle. He teach anything that we don't understand. He remind us again, say any question, then you understand.
As a parent, if my child come to home and tell me this is the kind of punishment he or her auntie gave to him, I'm going to ask him or her, what did you do? If he tell me, the next day I will go to their school and contact the teacher. This kind of punishment is bad.
Corporal punishment itself is relative among those who subscribe to it due to the way it is administered or handled by those correcting the offending kids. This boy was asked to go home after school, but decided to go along with his friends, leaving his mother worried. So when he gets home and you hear he has been barred from going out for a period of time or subjected to some other forms of punitive measure, the idea is to forestall a repeat of unacceptable behavior. The UN Convention on the Rights of the Child describes corporal punishment as the most widespread form of violence against children, in which physical force is used and intended to cause some degree of pain or discomfort.
Now for a look at the foreign scene, where Iraq's parliament has passed a law that makes it a crime to normalize ties with Israel, and violations of the law can be punishable with a death sentence or life imprisonment. The law, titled Criminalizing Normalization and Establishment of Relations with the Zionist Entity, was approved on Thursday, with 275 legislators voting in favor of it in Iraq's 329-seat assembly. Pakistan's government increased local fuel prices from Friday to meet a key condition set by the International Monetary Fund for reviving its bailout program. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif's administration raised the cost of gasoline and diesel by 30 rupees a litre each. Finance Minister Miftah Ismail said in a Twitter post, the decision comes a day after the two sides ended week-long talks without reaching an agreement to revive the stalled loan. The resumption of the bailout will provide a much-needed relief to keep the South Asian nation's economy afloat and avert a default. According to data compiled by Bloomberg, these stocks have tumbled and Pakistani rupee dropped 9% in the past month, the worst performer among Asian nations. The country's dollar bond dropped to a record low last week. The successful resumption of the program will unlock the remaining $3 billion from the loan program. Pakistan has also requested the IMF to extend its loan program for a year and increase the loan size by a further $2 billion. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. For more news, you can subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.